Hello everyone and now welcome to a game between XiaoKai versus Soin. This game taking place here on Last Refuge. Over here on the bottom left hand side of the map we have, XiaoKai spawning as the purple undead. Over here on the top right we have Soin spawning as the red orc. I don't hear, wait, I saw pillage there for a second. I'm like, is that a new strategy? What is going on? Um, let's see, can I do this? Oh, okay. I'm trying to hear my game sounds, get everything underway. Let's see what is going to be in store for us in this particular match. All right, there you go. As we see, Soin is opening up with an Altar of Storms and an Orc Burrow. Over here on the bottom left-hand side, we are looking at a Crypt, Altar of Darkness, and Ziggurat. It does look like a Ghoul opening to me, but it could still be a Crypt Lord with Ghouls as well. There is that Tomb of Relics, as things are already on the move. All right, is it going to be Crypt Lord or Death Knight? It is going to be Death Knight going up against Farseer, perhaps? Yes, Farseer has become the go-to hero as of late in the Orc versus Undead matchup, as it looks like it will be a very fast tech to tier 2. So in opting to go for Farseer, no Barracks tier 2 tech before Barracks, which means that he should be able to get, perhaps Raiders at tier 2 a little bit faster and really try to land those ensnares against the against the Undead and have that great power spike right there. Right behind this, though, we are looking at a graveyard coming in from XiaoKai, and the timing may be a bit interesting as we are going into a war mill as well. All right, so Soin opting to get this war mill down a little bit earlier, as it is incredibly important for Orc players to get that reinforced defenses from that Orc burrow. Now, talking about things Blizzard did right, moving that reinforced defenses from tier 3 to tier 2 definitely makes the matchup undead versus or orc versus undead much more balanced, as the undead army was able to just dive in and destroy orc burrows a bit too easily in the past. We are looking at the Death Knight trying to clear out this Forest Troll High Priest creep camp. There's a little bit of damage already coming across. Death Knight trying to finish things off here. Are we going to see some damage get added into here? That's really what you're trying to do, trying to just add up damage, or perhaps try and make your opponent pay for what is going on in this matchup. As we're looking at, perhaps, come on, turn around, get some damage onto that skeletal warrior. You will get some experience as well, as the Death Knight is just trying to back away again. All right, a little bit of free experience there, up to 37 experience, as we're looking at the Farseer still moving away. Death Knight trying to race away from those Spirit Wolves, as the Farseer should be able to resummon those up. All right, coming back around, we are teching to tier 2. We are getting up a second Necropolis. All right, a second Necropolis is normally built if you're trying to really just control your lumber a bit more. You need that additional supply, and that's exactly what happened. You needed that additional supply, but you didn't have the lumber for it, since you were, training up some units or going for Crypt Fiends or something else. All right, what is that Death Knight going to do? Death Knight is now back on a Blight for a little bit, trying to perhaps finish off the remainder of this creep camp here. Going to pick up a Claws of Attack +5, gets in some additional skeletal minions right there. There's a Death Coil, giving level 2 to the Death Knight. And the Death Knight really benefiting from faster movement speed, some good regeneration, as well as the Death Knight needs to get a Death Coil off to try and save that ghoul. There it goes. It is saved once more, and now with faster movement speed, no real dangers here. Spirit Wolf just going to get, timed life right there, as the Farseer looks to chase back after those skeletal minions. What is going to end up going down? There's some new Spirit Wolves, as the Farseer getting experience so far by taking down these skeletal minions. If I miss anything in the sound, please let me know. Also, for those of you on Twitch, let me know how game sounds are. My ears are actually not, or my right ear isn't working fully. It feels like it's stuffed or something. So if there's a little bit of balance, or you need to hear a little bit more, please let me know, or if the game sounds sound good. We are looking at Soin now go into Headhunters. We haven't seen a single grunt so far in this matchup. And, Soin is just looking to put in a little bit of pressure still. There goes some more skeletal minions again, trying to completely punish his opponent. Farseer, however, is still sitting at level 1. And that power spike at tier 2 isn't going to be nearly as pronounced as I thought, as the undead is already right behind it, getting up his lich as well. So both sides going to be
A
hitting tier
player's
2
forces
at
are under
very
attack.
similar timings and pacing, as the Tauren Chieftain now wanders out to try and gain a little bit of experience off to the north. So, and now making its way back away here, purposely keeping that Tauren Chieftain under wraps, making sure his opponent doesn't know anything about it, as it is really the Tauren Chieftain which controls the undead army. Being able to use Stomp effectively, and being able to have that faster movement speed, faster
A
attack speed,
player's forces
all
are under
comes
attack.
with the strength of the Tauren Chieftain. However, Tauren Chieftain as your first hero isn't nearly as strong, as you don't get as much harassment. We're going to be looking at this Tauren Chieftain now make its way down here, perhaps try and clear out this difficult Ogre Warrior creep camp now, as the Lich is also going to be doing the same. Good job by XiaoKai keeping those lower hit point ghouls alive. Very vibrant undead color. Yeah, I like purple undead. I don't know. It still seems kind of like dark magic mystically, but at the same so it's not like, ooh, what a pretty undead. It's still kind of like that dark magic purple going on. So I do like the color too. Tauren Chieftain sitting at level 2. Farseer sitting at level 2. Tauren Chieftain, what, at 240 mana? Yep, 240 mana, and is looking to figure out where his opponent is. All right, Ogre Warrior Creep Camp going to be
A
easily
player's
finished
forces
off here.
are under
Do we see
attack.
some healing salves? Yes, there is one healing salve available on that Tauren Chieftain, as we are also teching to tier 3. A very fast tech to tier 3 so far. No reinforced defenses either, as we're looking at the Forest Troll Trapper about to get finished off here. Manual of Health, right? Or no, that was a Tome of Knowledge. +1 to every single stat. A little bit more mana, a little bit more hit points, better agility as well, as the units will be shifting down. Headhunters will be upgrading to Berserkers here in just a moment, but I'm wondering how
A
Soin is
player's
going to
forces are under
round out
attack.
this army. It looks like Raiders coupled with Headhunters, and at some point, Undead should be transitioning into A-bombs. We are looking at the shade down across here. We are getting some more crypt themes. Abominations with Disease Cloud is a very nasty proposition, especially and normally A bombs, I would say, isn't that strong of a unit going up against or going up against Orc, but
A player's
with
forces
Orc
are
now
under attack.
actually using headhunters more and more, well, the Disease Cloud is a strategy that works better when your opponent goes wide. So the lower the supply of your enemy units are, the better it is, because the more units it affects effectively, dealing more damage to that Orc army. Tauren Chieftain still in that frontline spot. Farseer sitting at level 3. This is all, well, information that
A
Shao
player's
Kai
forces
knows.
are
There
under
is that
attack.
shade right there. Tauren Chieftain picks up a belt of giant strength, a massive, well, damage bonus, hit point bonus as well. That Tauren Chieftain cat is out of the bag. Yep, it is. Not really a surprise. Perhaps the only surprise is actually the level of the Tauren Chieftain, how close, or that it's already at level 3, and now a Kodo even joins in on this fight. Berserkers, dealing a little bit more damage, having a little bit better hit
A
points
player's
as well. A
forces are
great
under
upgrade
attack.
at tier 3, as we are also looking at a Crypt Lord third coming in from Shao Kai. All right, Crypt Lord third. That does change everything up. And what is this? Very fast tech to tier 3 heroes coming in from both sides. And it seems like, well, it seems like both players are just allowing their opponent to just creep out at this time here. There's that shade of 125 hit points. There goes an ensnare. We're going to be looking at a Cloak of Flames. Is that going to be
A
given to the
player's
Tauren
forces
Chieftain
are
as
under
well?
attack.
Upgrade that to Cloak of Flames for a Cloak of from that Cloak of Shadows, and in this moment, that Tauren Chieftain, its damage is actually quite large. We are looking at a tiny Great Hall coming in as well, and the pacing on this game is, well, absolutely um, just lightning fast. We are at the 10, or not even at the 10-minute mark. We're at tier 3, but on both players. We're setting up an expansion. Tauren Chieftain is already at level 3, almost level 4, as we should be getting in some healing salves to heal up the remainder of these units here. Now, here comes the true non-book play. And since I'll be referencing some chess now, non-book play, we are going to be seeing when the first pieces are going to be taken from each other and how we are going to bust this wide open, but not the Crypt Lord. Yeah, no, well, yeah, I was expecting the Dark Ranger. Crypt Lord going up against mass headhunters is also very common as well. We are looking at a great haul here. We should be looking at perhaps a Scroll of Town Portal to head back. We don't have reinforced defenses as the Crypt Lord, the Death Knight, and the Lich actually clearing out the remainder of this gargantuan Sea Turtle creep camp. Torn Chieftain does get up to level 4. Shadow Hunter sitting at level 2. Manual of Health being left behind as we're looking at, well, a bunch of ghouls finishing off one peon there. That peon having no room inside that burrow. Just, a bad day overall as we're looking at the units now trying to make their way back. Is the Lich, is that Crypt Lord going to be making their way over Death Knight? We are looking at some Asphidian statues. Low hit point Ghoul already retreating back. There is some repairs already underway. No Scroll of Town Portal as damage is already adding up. No reinforced defenses. Is it getting started? No, it is not. As, well, peons are just going to be feeding more experience to the Death Knight and the Lich. At this point in stage, are we going to be going into an engagement trying to get here? Shade keeps track of the Orc army. And, well, in comes some Blight, and in comes the fight here. And this is a tough spot. The Tauren Chieftain wants to dive on in here, but is unable to. That Great Hall actually, getting blocked in as there's an Impale as well. Peons need to come in, get in some repairs here. Destroyers now jumping into the air. Tauren Chieftain in that frontline spot. Headhunters are getting taken down. Tauren Chieftain could be in a bit of trouble. Is he going to try to dive on in here? The Crypt Fiends are able to get in some free attacks. Death Coil now saving that Destroyer there as the Farseer gets up to level 4 too. Tauren Chieftain trying to find a way to sneak on into the back, finally makes its way back in there, uses the Potion of Potion of Invulnerability as a low hit point Raider is going to, try to head back here. Tauren Chieftain cannot live off of this Potion of Invulnerability alone, as it's going to be coming to an end. The Shadow Hunter is pretty deep as well, as another healing wave should be used. There is another Hex trying to go after that Lich. There's a Stomp. However, the Death Knight going to be able to get off another Death Coil there. Not enough damage. Abominations pushing their way on through. Kodo Beast is eating a Crypt Fiend there, as this Great Hall, it looks like it is about to get taken down, but at what cost? Both sides just absolutely duking blows here in this round. All right. Game really starts when the first real battle takes place, and that was it right there. XiaoKai punishing Soin for that expansion as we see a big stomp come across. Beetle getting taken out here. Tauren Chieftain getting a level 1 healing wave. Level 1 healing wave not going to be enough, as the Tauren Chieftain down to 280 hit points could easily get, well, blasted here in just a moment. Abomination, however, getting back off once more. Tauren Chieftain not really getting healed. Does have a Scroll of Town Portal, as that, well, Scroll of Town Portal, or a Cloak of Flames. Oh! Scroll of Town Portal, it used in time to dodge, and, well, 49 supply compared to 53, but with an Abomination and a Crypt Fiend in the belly of the beast, XiaoKai is losing on supply, but was able to shut down Soin's expansion. Well, well, well. Too many misses for the Headhunters. Were they fighting in from the... Yeah, perhaps they were fighting in from the low ground. I wasn't keeping track of that. Looking at the Tauren Chieftain, trying to dive in there, and it really came into a bit of a weird position. That Tauren Chieftain wanted to get behind enemy lines, wasn't able to do so. We're taking a look here. Undead army sitting at level 4, level 3, level 2. There is a slight experience advantage for the Orc in this fight, and it's going to continue to grow as, well, this Abomination gets digested. Thank you, Flynn, for keeping eyes on there. XiaoKai was Obi-Wan and Soin was Anakin. Uphill mispercent stuff. Yep. Yep. All right, and that was an incredibly massive battle between those two players. 48 supply compared to 50 now. Units are just wandering back around once more. Murloc Nightcrawler is going to get taken out here. Tauren Chieftain clearing things out as we're looking at the Tauren Chieftain with a Healing Ward. Healing Ward is incredibly useful, but I don't know how useful it will be in terms of in terms of actual battle healing, with the destroyers having easy access and devour magic, and the Crypt Fiends being able to attack that. You really need a little bit more burst heal. Farsi, you're going to head off over here to the top left, realize the Gargantuan Sea Turtle was already cleared out, closing up some of that experience advantage that Soin currently has. 15 minutes into this game so far, we are looking at, well, XiaoKai really taking a play out of, I would say, Happy's playbook, staying on tier 1 as Soin is desperately trying to, well, draw the line in the sand here at the 11 o'clock spot. Coming back down here, Beetle trying to head back away, and this is the downside of slowly digesting your opponent's units. You essentially are revealing to your opponent where you are at all times. Tauren Chieftain does not have any additional survivability items, which is incredibly important, and the Shade needs to be incredibly careful of not following that Tauren Chieftain too closely. If it follows it too closely, it itself will either get stomped or it will take too much Cloak of Flames damage. All right, in the back line here, a Voodoo Lounge about to get done. There's that Impale. Tauren Chieftain, however, still getting a little bit of heals in the back here as the Beetles are trying to engage here. Peons are in the back. No Spirit Link as a new Voodoo Lounge being built in the back once more. All right, Crypt Fiends. Well, Crypt Fiends trying to attack that Great Hall here. That Voodoo Lounge is going to be too far back. Tauren Chieftain wants to try to move on in as the, well, Crypt Lord does not have that much mana right now. That Destroyer is a little bit too far back. Coming into the engagement here, Kotobi's going to try and fight on through. Obsidian statues are in the back here. Deathcoil Frostnova fishing off a Raider as the Lich gets the level 4. Plus 30 attack between the Claws of Attack and that Orb of Corruption. A nasty Lich right there with such a powerful items. Tauren Chieftain now going to make its way back over, ensnare onto that Crypt Lord. Crypt Lord, well, what's going to end up happening here? There goes in a stomp, trying to make sure that there's no easy lineup here as Soin tries to dine and dash with those Kodo Beasts once more. 7 supply now backing away as we're looking at the Beetles still making their way back through. Tauren Chieftain being very cautious here as we're going to look at a stomp. That is going to be a long stun across multiple units as there are so many Obsidian statues just healing in the back. All right, Crypt Fiend going to get taken down. Kodo Beast trying to retreat back, gets a Scroll of Healing, going to be able to stay alive, and now Healing Salve as well. Headhunt or Berserkers are now, well, getting surrounded here. Tauren Chieftain going to go after a little bit of damage. There is a stomp as well. Chain Lightning Lich going to get taken out. Tauren Chieftain at 5. Soin may have reached the breaking point there as the Death Knight now trying to back away. Shadow Hunter comes across, a little bit more damage. There's a follow-up stomp. There is the Devour Magic. The Death Knight able to use that Health Stone in order to get away. Beautiful 1-2 follow-up combinations. Tauren Chieftain now needs a Clarity Potions to kind of reset himself, but Soin has won a decisive battle here at his expansion. Now, the ball is in XiaoKai's court. How is he going to react? How is he going to respond? He needs to attack here into an unfavorable spot. He is fighting uphill as Soin will have the benefit of, well, a Voodoo Lounge and some healing wards as well to, well, regenerate himself. All right, Kodo Beast coming back on over. There's that Devour Magic. This Kodo Beast doesn't get any benefit of that healing ward, but it looks like the engagement is ready to go. 57 supply compared to 53. All right, Great Hall about to take some damage. Beetles now trying to make their way back off to the north here. Tauren Chieftain is at 5. Farseer getting very close to 5. Level 3 Chain Lightning or level 3 Wolves would make a very big difference as well. Interesting to see that Soin didn't try and get more experience on that Farseer early on and then use Shadow Wolves to put pressure inside the main base. Shadow was healed up. So the only way the Shadow could get healed right now is if the Death Knight is within range for that Unholy Aura. All right, Shadow is still taking a little bit of damage here. Tauren Chieftain trying to push on through, and all Soin is trying to do is continue to mine right here as we see Frost Nova is just causing problems once more. All right, gonna go ahead and engage Tauren Chieftain, just trying to snake on in. There's that stomp, gets in on the Crypt Lord and 2 Crypt Fiends. Backing away, Kodo Beast off on the side here, still eating up 1 Abomination. This Kodo Beast not eating up anything as of yet. This Kodo Beast needs to back away, try to spread out all of that damage. Kodo Beast is going to be able to eat anything at all. There goes a Hex, and the Death Knight taken down. The glue that holds the army together and that should have been the beginning of the end. Criplord has a potion of lesser invulnerability, but I just imagine a Hex to follow this up. Tauren Chieftain gonna, well, there's gonna see a Hex. No Hex. Criplord trying to back away. Chain Lightning, and that Criplord able to escape away at 3 hit points. All right, a massive stomp in from behind as Soin takes a game from XiaoKai. A very impressive fight right there between the two. Soin and XiaoKai at that first battle point really losing that expansion, but perhaps baiting his opponent to attack before he was ready. The wrong point though was that Soin was trying to fight uphill in that location, and really that uphill low or uphill advantage causing all of those berserkers to miss was much of a missed opportunity to try and take a substantial lead. He was able to eat a couple of a Kodo Beast and a Crypt Fiend though, and that was enough for him to continue to build his advantage. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Please stay tuned for game 2.